My favorite two stretches for people in back pain. And they're not what you think. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Marion. I'm a physiotherapist, postural neurologist, fascial dynamics manipulator, Pilates instructor, psychedelic assisted therapist. Lots of stuff, lots of clinical experience. And I'm going to have a little joke, a little play with people who type into Google, show me the best stretches for back pain. First up, please don't ask Google to tell you what exercises are good for your spine. Your spine is so different to the next person who walks in with back pain, and then the next person who walks in with back pain. You've got to understand that an L5S1 disc will be the result of 1,000 different influences in the body. Some people have a twisted rib cage causing compression. Some people have a weight shift over to the right leg. Some people have a job that makes them sit all day. Everything's lined up, but they're just doing too much of one wrong movement. There's so many variables. So when we ask Google to tell us what we should be doing for our back pain, it's sometimes a recipe for disaster. So I guess I want to tell you my top two. My top two stretches are a stretch of your mind, your mental perception of your situation is what I'd invite you to stretch. If you come in and talk to your physio, your chiro, your osteo about your back, you're going to have a story, and it's going to sound very different for all of you. But effectively, it's going to be a story that you were doing something and then something happened and now you're in pain. I would encourage you to think that that thing you did was not actually the thing that caused your pain. I would say it was the final straw in an accumulation of things that you did to your body, and that was the last bit. There was possibly so many signals coming at you from your body leading up to that, which you ignored, or you overrode, or you simply didn't hear because you were connected from the internal feelings and senses in your own body. And then you're probably going to blame your body because it's not getting better quick enough, because you are still giving it the same stuff and some are expecting it to get better quicker when nothing's really changed apart now we've added some frustration and anger in our own body, which doesn't help. So when I say top stretch is a literal stretch of your mind, stretch of your capacity to perceive your situation. If you perceive it as wrong, if you perceive it as something's broken and it needs fixing, if you perceive it as something that's happened to you, then we really, ideally, need to find a way to flip that. And I know that can be really hard to hear, but if we can flip our mind into seeing that this back pain happened for us, not to us, it was for us. Well, then we can inquire about, well, why? What is it teaching me? What am I going to learn in the process? Who must I become to heal this thing? Because I can't heal it being who I have been up until now. I'm going to have to become someone new, someone with some better movement habits, someone with a better thought process, someone who learns to feel their emotions, someone who takes courageous decisions, someone who has courageous conversations. All of those aspects of self can be improved along the back pain journey. In which case, when you come out the other side, often people will say, yeah, I can actually see how that was for me. At the time, I didn't want to hear it. In fact, I probably would have soccer punched someone who told me that. But it can become a beautiful, transformative experience in your life if you decide that's what it's going to be. Or you can continue to focus on the pain, continue to stay in a fear state, continue to search for answers that involve something happening to your physical body, and you'll be chasing and chasing and chasing for years. So my first stretch is a mental stretch. Second stretch is a heart stretch. And I know you're probably thinking, who is this girl? Is she a physio? She's so weird. Why does she talk like this? Why doesn't she just give us a hip flexor stretch? Why does she just needle my glutes and get on with it? And that's really very fair questions. But I'm not just a physio. I'm a back pain coach. I have so many other layers to my understanding, which has got to hopefully help you see that coming at it from the body is one way, which may be the right way for you. But I suspect if you're here, you've tried that and it hasn't worked. So always factor in when I'm speaking, it's to people who've tried everything and they're not winning, which means we have to start opening our mouths and saying you're not winning because you're coming at it from the physical body. And the physical body is only expressing all the other shit that you keep feeding it with your mind and your feeling centers. So stretch number 2 is an invitation to simply stretch your heart. Feel into your heart and, God forbid, try and find the feeling of love. If you can spend a few minutes a day feeling love, your whole biology changes. The Heart Math Technique or the Heart Math Institute have done the science. 2 or 3 minutes in a feeling of love and your immunoglobulin A factor rises by something like 300%. Your immune system ramps up. Your cortisol levels drop. Cortisol feeds inflammation. Oxytocin is a healing wonder hormone. How many of us are walking around in a loving state? Certainly, not many people I know. What if all we had to do was to just simply sit, and instead of letting our mind trigger us into states of frustration and anger and getting pissed off and frustrated with the whole situation, what if we could flip the script and say, well, you know what? That weirdo on YouTube said perhaps this back pain's for me. Maybe I'm just going to sit for a few minutes and entertain that idea. Can my mind possibly find one upside of this back pain situation? And then can I breathe into my heart and just feel love? Just feel it. Love for the fact you're alive. Love for the fact you're breathing. Love for the fact you probably have kids that you love, or a pet that you love, or a partner, God forbid, that you love, or a job that you love, or eyes that see, or a body that can feel pleasure in other ways, or taste buds that taste great food. If you can actually just take the focus off the back for a minute and just love the fact you're alive and that, yes, you're having this experience of back pain. If you can learn to love the experience, it's just another one. If you fight it, it'll continue. If you actually just put down your resistance barriers and you allow the whole experience to come in without judgment, without fear, just see it as a transient time in your life where you're being invited to go deeper with yourself. If you can allow yourself to feel love, whichever way it has to be, biohack the hell out of it. Do whatever brings you into a loving space. If you can carve out 3 to 5 minutes a day just simply to sit and feel love in your physical body, then that will be far more beneficial for your healing journey than taking a few anti-inflammatories, which costs you money and destroy your guts and your liver and your kidneys. Just do not devalue simple ways of being that really make a difference. I have constantly been blown away when I look at scans and x-rays of people who come in who really should be in a wheelchair. They should be crawling with the amount of nerve compression and degeneration. And they come bounding in with a beautiful smile and they're happy. And I say, how is your back? And they're like, what? I don't know. It's fine. And it shouldn't be. I read the report. It shouldn't be fine. And yet they're so happy. They're so engaged in life. They have a mission and a purpose. Somehow they're not feeling it. The opposite, as we all know, is also true. So stretch number 2 is a heart stretch. A really simple technique is heart-focused breathing. You simply put your hands on your heart and you breathe, close your eyes and you breathe into your heart for a few minutes. Picture it like a balloon that you inhale from the inside and then you exhale. 3 minutes. Heart-focused breathing, thinking about something, someone that you love, and see if you can generate that state. It's the antidote to fear. You cannot feel love and fear at the same time. And I know when you're in an awful back pain situation, feeling fearful is part and parcel of the journey. When we go to the opposite side of our emotional spectrum and feel love, then the fear just has to dissolve in the moments we're feeling love. It'll probably come back. That's all right. You've given your biology a break from it for a little while. So my top 2 stretches for back pain. Stretch your mental beliefs about it. 2, stretch your heart so you can feel love more often. Neither of them require you getting on the floor and getting all contorted and taking one arm this way and one leg that way. Doesn't have to be that hard. Let's keep it simple. As always, I wish you well on your journey, and I would love you to drop a comment, like, subscribe. Give me some video ideas, some content covered, some ideas that you'd like to see covered. And as always, if you're interested in any of my programs, my book, my mini course, my 6-week course, or to apply for coaching with me, then go to www.bulletproofbacks.com. This is my sincere intent to give you some uplifting, empowering, positive messages about your own ability to get out of this situation. You have the power. It's within. It's not from an external source. No one can do it for you. But my job, I guess, is to be the champion of a more positive message. There's so much doom and gloom about back pain that is not valid for people who take the correct action. And if that's one of you, I really encourage you to keep listening. Keep watching the next video. Keep feeding your mind with messaging that it's possible. And just start to understand it's possible, but it's not going to be done doing the same shit that's been spruiked for years. I honestly think some of that stuff keeps people in the pain cycle. They try it all, it doesn't work, and then they feel even more miserable, and then they give up because it hasn't worked. And often it doesn't work because the physical structure is the end point of the issue. What goes on here and here are vital. And most of my methods are directed at here and here. Once I feel they're cleared, we get into the actual structure of moving our pelvis on our feet and the more, I guess, traditional physio ideas. But let's start where we start. Let's acknowledge we are where we are, and where we are is okay. I want you to just take one step forward, one new piece of knowledge, and embody it. Don't just watch and not do. I never ask you to do anything too complicated. Baby steps. See you in the next video.